Okay, so in this lesson, we are going to start solving proportions, and we need to use our knowledge of equivalent ratios in this lesson in order to get started. So let's go ahead and do that right away. So a proportion is an equation that shows two equivalent ratios, and I'll say that again. A proportion is an equation, and this is important. It's an equation, which means that we are going to bring back the variable, and we're going to have to solve something that shows two equivalent ratios. And we just worked with equivalent ratios. Okay? So we need to know something called cross products. And we did a little bit with this when we did equivalent ratios. So cross products is the answer that you get when you multiply proportions diagonally. So again, it's the answer that you get when you multiply proportions diagonally. So if I took two equivalent ratios, okay, so I have 2 over 7 and 4 over 14, and I multiplied them across, I cross multiplied, so 7 times 4, I got 28, and then 14 times 2, that's also 28. These are cross products. Okay, so in proportions, cross products are always equal. So we're going to do a test right here. Let's see which one of these form a proportion, okay? So here we have 8 times 2, that's 16. 4 times 4, that's also 16. So these check out. Here I have 5 times 3, that's 15. 6 times 1, that's 6. That does not check out, okay? So, how do we solve for a missing variable in a proportion? Well, step 1 is we are going to cross multiply like we just did and set the products equal to each other. So what's going to happen is I'm going to give you two equivalent ratios, or I'm going to give you a set of equivalent ratios, except that instead of one of the numbers, there's going to be a variable there. So here I have 3 over 4 equals n over 16. So you're going to multiply across. 4 times n is 4n. 16 times 3 is 48. Then all you're going to do is set them equal to each other. You're going to bring down the 48, bring down the 4n, bring down the equal sign. 48 equals 4n. And from there, all you have is a one-step equation. And you should know exactly how to solve that, okay? What you're going to do is you're going to box the variable. Divide both sides by 4. This cancels. Bring down your n. 48 divided by 4 is 12. And you know that you have to flip it around, and your answer is n equals 12. Now, you can check your work by putting it back into your proportion and making sure that it works. So your original proportion was 3 over 4 equals n over 16. So put 12 in for n. Now, cross multiply. 12 times 4 is going to be 48. 16 times 3 is also going to be 48. That's how you know that you got the right answer. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So 6 over 2 equals 4 over p. So first we're going to cross multiply. 2 times 4 is 8. 6 times p is 6p. Now we're going to bring them down. 6p, bring down the equal sign, equals, and then bring down the 8. All right, now we're going to box the variable, and we're going to divide by 6 on both sides. This is going to cancel, and then p equals, and then take your calculator, and it's okay if you get a decimal. 8 divided by 6 equals 1.3333333333 repeating. And what we're going to do in this case is we're always going to round to the nearest hundredth. So 1.33. Now, when you have repeating decimals like that, it's a little bit trickier to check your work because they're not terribly exact. So again, when we get repeating decimals, it's a little trickier to check your work. Oops. Make sure that's the right one. Okay. So let's try this one here. So 33 times n is 33n. 11 times 18 is going to be 198. So we're going to bring down the 198, bring down your equal sign, and then bring down the 33n. Now, just like a one-step equation, box your variable, divide by 33 on both sides. 198 divided by 33 is 6. These cancel, bring down your equal sign, bring down your n, but flip it around so it says n equals 6. Okay, now let's go ahead and check this one. So 18 over 33 equals, I'm going to take the 6 and put it in for the n, 6 over 11. Let's go ahead and cross multiply. 33 times 6 is going to be 198. 11 times 18, well, we just did it over here, 198. If they match, that's how you check your answer. All right, let's do this guy here. K times 8 is 8k. 2 times 4 is 8. So we're going to bring down the 8, bring down your equal, bring down the 8k. Box your variable and divide by 8 on both sides. 8 divided by 8 is 1. Bring down your equal. These cancel. Bring down your k. Flip it around. K equals 1 is your answer, but let's go ahead and check your work. So 4, oops, that's not a 4. 4 over, instead of k, I'm going to put 1, equals 8 over 2. So 1 times 8 is 8. 2 times 4 is 8. It checks out. All right, let's try this one here. 4 times 12 is going to be 48. 24 times p is 24p. So we have 24p, bring down your equal, equals 48. Box your variable, divide by 24 on both sides. These cancel. Bring down your p, bring down your equals. 48 divided by 24 is 2. P equals 2. Now check your answer. So instead of p, I'm going to put 2. 2 over 4 equals 12 over 24. All I did is rewrite the original one. So 2 times 12 is 48. 24 times 2 is 48. They check out. You should always check your work with a proportion. All right, 11 times 32. Get my calculator. Is 352. X times 4 is 4x. Bring down the 4x, bring down the equal, bring down the 352. Box the variable, divide by 4 on both sides. These 4's cancel. Bring down the x equals 352 divided by 4 is 88. Now let's plug it in to see if it works. 4 over 11 equals 32 over, instead of x, I'm going to put 88. Let's check our work. 11 times 32 is 352. 88 times 4 is 352 as well. So that checks out. Alright, so 26 times 3 is 78. 2 times n is 2n. Bring down the 2n, bring down the equal sign, bring down the 78. Box the variable, divide by 2 on both sides. These 2's cancel. N equals 78 divided by 2 is 39. So n equals 39, but it only takes a second, so we might as well check our answer. 2 over 26, which I got from right here, equals 3 over, and instead of n, I'm going to put 39. So 26 times 3, I just did it before, is 78, but now I need to check 39 times 2 is also 78. So that checks out. Alright, let's try this one. 5 times 8 is 40. 10 times n is 10n. 10n, bring down my equals, bring down my 40. Box the variable, divide by 10 on both sides. These 10's cancel. N equals 40 divided by 10 is 4. N equals 4. But let's go ahead and check. So instead of n, I'm going to put 4 over 5 equals 8 over 10. Let's go ahead and check. 5 times 8 is 40. 10 times 4 is 40. So those check out. Okay, let's do this one here. 5 times n is 5n. 20 times 20 times 16 is 320. So 320, bring down my equals, 5n, box the variable, divide by 5, divide by 5, these 5's cancel, bring down the n, bring down the equals, 320 divided by 5 is 64, flip it around so it's always n equals 64. Now let's check. 16 over 5 equals, and instead of n, I'm going to write 64 over 20. Let's cross multiply. 5 times 64 is 320. And then 20 times 16 is also 320. Okay, let's keep going. 2 times 9 is 18. 3 times n is 3n. So 3n, bring down the equals, bring down the 18. Box the variable, divide by 3, divide by 3. These 3's cancel. N equals 18 divided by 3 is 6. N equals 6. So then we're going to plug it back in. 3 over 2 equals 9 over, but instead of n, I'm going to write 6. Let's cross multiply. 2 times 9 is 18. 6 times 3 is 18. It checks out. Alright, let's try this guy here. N times 24 is 24n. 18 times 4, my calculator, 72. So we have 72 equals 24n. We're going to box the variable, divide by 24, divide by 24. So 72 divided by 24 is 3. These 24s cancel. Bring down the n, but we want to flip it around. N equals 3. But let's plug it back in and check to be sure. 4 over, instead of n, I'm going to write 3, because that's the answer I'm testing, equals 24 over 18. So 3 times 24, that's going to be 72. 18 times 4, 72. It checks out. Let's do another one. 9 times 20. That's going to be 180. 4 times n, that's going to be 4n. So we have 4n, bring down your equals, 180. Box your variable, divide by 4, divide by 4. These 4's cancel, bring down your n. 180 divided by 4 is 45. Let's plug in your answer. 4 over 9 equals 20 over 45. 9 times 20 is 180. And then 45 times 4 is also 180. Alright, let's do this one. 6 times x is 6x. 9 times 10 is 90. 90 equals 6x. Box the variable. Divide by 6. Divide by 6. 90 divided by 6 is 15. Equals, these cancel, bring down the x, but flip it around, so it's x equals 15. And then let's go back and plug it in. 9 over 6 equals 15 over 10. 9 times 10 is 90. 6 times 15 is also 90. That checks out. Alright, let's do this one. 3 times 8 is 24. 4 times x is 4x. 4x, bring down your equals. 24. Box the variable. Divide by 4 on both sides. These 4's cancel. X equals 24 divided by 4 is 6. But let's go ahead and plug it back in. 4 over 3 equals 8 over 6. 3 times 8 is 24. 4 times 6 is also 24. Alright, those were a lot of proportions, but you only get good at them through practice. That is the end of the lesson, and we will do more practice in class.